If only I had more space in my home. How many times have you said that? Especially when standing in your kitchen. Well, it turns out most of us do have the space, just not the right organization. Someone who knows exactly how to maximize and organize is Sherry Dorsha, designer for Shelfgenie of Columbus. Good to see you, Sherry.
Thanks.
Okay, so you say you can give us more space ×3 with what we've already got. So how do you find this magical space?
Well, it totally depends on the items that you have in your cabinets and the opening, the opening size that you have of your cabinets. But many times we are able to put 3 shelves into a cabinet where before you maybe just had 1.5 shelves or 2 shelves that weren't really functioning very well for you.
What is that half shelf? As you said that, I'm thinking about my cabinet that has a half shelf. Like, what's the point of this?
Yeah, I know, it's funny. A lot of people are like, I wish I could just get something out of my cabinet without having to stand on my head.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so and I imagine, Sherry, with many of the new build homes, you kind of see that same thing over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
And so this is a case where you can come in and kind of customize it for people.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Definitely.
so your solution, as you say, comes out in 3s, and these are your pullouts. Explain to us how these work.
Right, so you go from having 1.5 shelves or 2 shelves that don't move to having 3 pull-out shelves. This is a really great opportunity to get things unstacked in your cabinets. When we go into homes, we open up people's cabinets and look at what they have stored in there. Many times there are huge stacks of items, and they tend to be in the front of the cabinet because that's where people can get to those things. Now, for some of our clients, they maybe have issues like arthritis in their hands or wrists, and lifting up all of those heavy things you have in your cabinets, I mean, we're talking about casserole, dishes, pots and pans, that can be a real struggle for people. So to be able to get all of those items spread out on 3 full shelves that you can pull out completely from the cabinet and access from the top can really be transformational for a lot of people.
And I just was thinking about the crock pot, which is one of those big things that you kind of have to stick in the back because that's where it fits, and then it's so awkward to try to pull it out when it's time to use it.
Exactly. And you know, if you have all tall items, then putting 3 pullouts in your cabinet may not work. But even like in my home, in my pots and pans cabinet, I went from 1.5 to 3, and I call it my clown car cabinet now because honestly, when you know Chad the installer left, I just kept piling things on to the shelves, and I do have a crock pot, full set of pots and pans, all of my casserole dishes, all spread out where they're very easily accessible. So it's really makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it made a big difference. And I like how you can see that, you know, the last photo we showed, you could see the lids on the top, which is always the struggle to find the one that fits the pan you're actually using. So this enables you to, like you said, I mean, to organize as well as store.
Right. Some people have glass lids that they do want to keep separate from the pans, so that's a great solution. Another way that 3 glide outs in a shelf can be used is for somebody who maybe doesn't have a pantry. If you don't have a big closet pantry or you know those walk-ins, everyone's like, oh, you know, I dream of having that. Not everyone has that in their kitchen. And if you can take a space that has that, you know, awkward 1.5 shelf, put 3 pullouts on where you can now put all of your canned goods, all of your pantry items on there, that can be a great solution for a lot of people as well.
Yeah, we just saw a photo of that, moving on to one that's holding like 16 sets of dishes.
Right.
which does provide us with proof of how sturdy these are.
Oh yes, absolutely. All of the shelves hold 100 pounds. So, you know, there's really, most people don't have anything, you know, that's going to weigh more than that. And we can get rails that will hold up to 200 pounds, but again, it's rarely, you know, if ever necessary. It's a very, very durable product. So.
And one of the other solutions we've talked about before, but it can really make this whole thing work, is removing the style, which you'll see in this photo right here. What is that? How does that help people?
So you know, in a lot of cabinets that are a framed cabinet, they have that piece of wood in the middle. It's really not for support. It just covers the space between the doors based on the style of cabinets. To be able to get that out of the way, now have one big opening instead of 2 smaller openings. So you have Now 3 full shelves all the way across, you have just added so much space and so much, accessibility to your cabinet that it's really going to be a big change.
So much usable space, which is
Exactly.
the biggest part in all of this.
Exactly.
Okay, so the best way to discover the solution that works for you, Sherry, is to have an in-home consultation, right?
Yes, definitely.
How does that work?
So just call up Shelfgenie. They'll schedule an appointment that works for your calendar, and we'll come out, take a look at what you have, kind of ask a lot of questions, walk through what you do, how you use your kitchen, figure out what your frustrations are, and then try to find the best way to resolve that for you.
Right, to fix them for you, get rid of those frustrations.
Definitely.
All right, Sherry, again, the Shelfgenie website and phone number is up on screen. Thanks for being here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.